Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You know, 10-2Z is good and all. There's nothing really wrong with that. It was a fine way to start off Let's Plays, but this is the kind of game I really want to play. Like, this right here is my absolute favourite game of all time. There's a lot to talk about with this game. Also a bit of bitching, but yeah, there's going to be a lot for me to talk about over the first few episodes because I love this game. Yeah, this is the X Director's Cut, because apparently X stands for cut. I don't know. It's basically just a re-release, slightly enhanced, of Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast, and this is the HD, well, kind of re-release. And it's so you can get the normal version by default with the graphics of the re-release, and you can get DLC to upgrade to the re-release for the most part, and that's what this is now. And this here is one of my favourite themes ever. But I will never let go. I know it's a one-way track. Tell me how long this will last. I just love this theme so much. Feel it burn. Now see what I've gotta do. Open your, yeah, it's gonna be alright. Probably gonna cut that out. Yeah, I may keep that incredibly embarrassing singing in. I'm not sure, but this game is just what it does to me. It's just fantastic. Like, this is like pretty much the perfect jump to 3D you could have. So there's my normal save, 100% complete. Though the game will, the achievements will not accept that. It won't believe that it's all 100% complete. So we'll be starting a new save, and actually best make sure that the subtitles are on. That's actually kind of important. Message settings, voice and text, good. So basically, this game is like the best game ever. You have 6 playable characters. At the start you only have Sonic, and you unlock the others by meeting them during the story. So you got Tails, Knuckles, Amy, a newcomer's that one, and Gamma. E102 Gamma is one of the best Sonic characters ever, and if you've never seen him before, well, hopefully this Let's Play will show you why he's so awesome. So you start with Sonic because this is back when Sonic Team knew to focus on Sonic. Like Sonic has the most levels of any character. The other characters max out at 5. Sonic has 10. And he's the only one you can play as at first. They really knew that Sonic is the one people want to play as. He's the main character, he should get the focus. So this is the first it's the first Sonic game to have proper story mode. It has as you see here, full voice acting.
Oh, yeah. This is happening.
Even if the script was a little off at times and the animation of the cutscenes is pretty bad. But you know, it has a real charm to it. Though the animation did get a lot better by Sonic Adventure 2. And like by the current times now, like with Sonic Generations, the animation is really good. So this here is Chaos, and it was another really popular thing about the game. I think what people really took away from this was Sonic works well in 3D. Chaos and Gamma are awesome, because he even made like normal generic enemies in Sonic Adventure 2 based on those two, because they're awesome. I think that's actually a pretty strong way to open the game, like, because Sonic shows up and you have a boss fight. Like, just straight out the gate you have a boss fight against some new enemy that's not a robot like you'd normally have. And straight away you get the rings and it's got the same sound effects. It's just great. I've been a long time. I've been like a Sonic fan for pretty much all my life, because you know, back when I was a kid, we had a Mega Drive at my mum's house. At my house, we had a like Commodore 64 and that. And stupid jumping bastard. Take that. But yeah, so we had the Mega Drive and we had 5 games on it: Sonic, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Alex Kidd, and an F1 game. So I imagine there's pretty much a 3 in 5 chance that my first game ever played was Sonic. I mean, it might have been a Commodore 64 game, but I hardly remember those, whereas the Sonic games are a lot more vivid in my memory. And yeah, so you know, I grew up watching the cartoon, The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, which is still the best one, and probably the best TV show based on a game ever. I don't care what anyone says. And I kind of grew out of Sonic. You know like you do. Like, I imagine a lot of people did that with stuff like Ninja Turtles or superheroes. Big Eggman there. You know, you just kind of grow out of it, not because it's bad or you dislike it or you think it's beneath you or anything. You just kind of grow out of it, you know. But then you go back to it years later and you have an even greater appreciation for it than you did when you were a kid. And that's what happened with me and Sonic. And the reason I got back into Sonic was this game. You know, we got a Dreamcast, and I didn't actually get this game with it. But there was a demo disc with it. I mean, do you remember that? When there were demo discs for games? The animation sometimes. But yeah, it's going back a ways. Demo discs of all things. And the demo of Sonic Adventure, and it was this next level we're going to do. And I loved it. I wouldn't even. I refused to actually play the game. I didn't want to even play the games I had, like the actual full games I had for the Dreamcast. I didn't want to play them because this Sonic demo was just so awesome. Like, this is one of my favorite levels in the entire series. You know, it's just got this great atmosphere to it. It's a shame that they didn't have it in the console version of Generations, because I argue that this probably would have been a better level in place of Speed Highway, which was really similar to City Escape. But it's in the 3DS version. It's a shame that both versions of that are side-scrolling versions. I can actually do a lot better than this, but I really want you to kind of appreciate what the level is, because I've done speed runs of this and managed to get all the emblems. So I can do this whole level in about 2 minutes, but I really want you to see just how good it is. I mean, yes, certain aspects of the graphics aren't as good, like by today's standards, but I think this level is probably just the tech demo to really show off what this game could do. The whale there, the most iconic moment in the entire game, and Sonic slowing down for some reason. You're not supposed to do that, Sonic. But yeah, that whale, like, to the point that they even ripped it off, not paid tribute, like just ripped it off in Sonic 06. And like, that's what loads of the promotional material was, just Sonic running from this whale. It's just this really great image that anyone who's played Sonic Adventure will remember till the day they die. Here's where I speed up a bit. See, this is how you do speed runs. You just have to just keep spin dashing. Haha! I made it into the cave. Again, as always, I'll admit that this is actually my second attempt at this Let's Play. I fucked up majorly in one of the levels, and then I decided, well, I have to restart it now. That's just one of the shortcuts you need to do to get the best time. But yeah, so I actually did this. I fucked up in one of the levels, and then I had to restart it. But I can't do too much of that. I can only restart it from the first episode. I can't restart again after that. It was like with Tenchu Z, if I fucked up early in the level, I could just start again and do it again later. But this one has to be more complete because it's only autosave. And you can't turn autosave off, ever. So I'm pretty much stuck with that. So there's the first emblem. The emblem to the big collectible thing in this game in Sonic Adventure. But I think every Sonic game up until like 06, though there were medals in that. Tails is interested in this game because he's probably the worst actor. But you can forgive that because, well, it's not a woman. He was a 12-year-old kid. Like honestly, it was like 11, 12 when he did the voice of Tails. But then when he came to Sonic Heroes, he was a bit too old to play the character at that point. So he's got his younger, I think it's his younger brother who played him, and he was 8.
I just happened to find one of the 7 emeralds during one of my test flights.
I happened to find one of the 7 emeralds during one of my test flight.
So I figured, why not use it to power
He actually does a decent job, in all honesty. He's not too bad an actor, but he is notably the worst one.
I've got something I've got to
But that's understandable.
It's in the Mystic Ruins.
Meanwhile, you have
By train.
Dean Bristow as Eggman, and he's awesome. Though I do think Mike Pollock in the more recent games suits Eggman better. So here you go, can plays Tails. But I think Dean Bristow suits Eggman better, if only because Eggman's a complete joke at this point. Like, even more than he used to be. Like, he can be threatening in this and Adventure 2, but he's just pathetic since then, and Mike Pollock's version is a lot more goofy and cartoony and suits him more. And this is the adventure field, where it's just like a hub area. There's 3 of them. There's something that they did drop for Sonic Adventure 2. And there are emblems scattered around them, and you can also get these power-ups, which we'll be seeing later. So now I have to head... that was embarrassing. But we have to head to the Mystic Ruins, the second one. This is where Tails, his workshop is. I'm not really sure why Tails has a workshop. I guess it just kind of makes sense. But yeah, this is a game where they try to sort out the continuity. You know, sort out the whole Earth, Mobius, Eggman, Robotnik thing. So here, you've got Eggman saying, to which Sonic replies,
Whatever you say, Eggman.
and that's kind of the approach they took with it. Robotnik is his actual name, but Eggman's just an insult the other characters call him. And by Sonic Adventure 2 he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I can't be arsed. Yes, I'm Eggman. Which is fair enough.
What, you big loser?
But like, the funny thing about the name Robotnik is that he's not called that because it has the word robot in it. It just means like slave driver in a certain language. And the fact there's a robot in it just works perfectly. So, you know, he enslaves animals by turning them into robots. So it's the ultimate name for him. But they're just going by Eggman now, which I guess is fine by this point, where is it more of a joke. As for the whole Earth Mobius thing, they don't even acknowledge the Mobius concept. It's just, in Japan it's always been Earth, so this is on Earth. So it doesn't bring to question how some of the levels could possibly exist on Earth. So it does also bring in some really good level design, like especially in Sonic Adventure 2, where like these ones just based around cities and that, and they had really enjoyable levels from that, which you wouldn't have had if they'd gone with the Mobius angle. This is the first of 3 total boss fights with Eggman. It's really easy to do. I think I actually made the Egg Hornets in Lego, because I had this big thing was making a bunch of Sonic stuff in Lego. Like, I made Sonic, Super Sonic, Shadow, Knuckles, Tails. I'd have made Amy if they had pink Lego, but that's really rare. I think I even made Eggman at one point. And it was fun to do.
I'll play with you some other time.
So let me just smashed Eggman. The thing with the rings at the end, we were saying about total rings, I think that's for the raising Chow, which is like the small thing they added in this one, and it's actually kind of enjoyable. And I'll show you some of that later. But the Chow raising, in this version you can Tails running in place. But you can use the rings to buy stuff on the black market to help you raise the Chow, like special fruits for them to eat and just new eggs. It's kind of weird that they introduced Chaos and the Chow in the same game when Chow was spelled C-H-A-O, like literally chaos without the S. So pluralized it's Chows, possibly. So it becomes difficult to try and search for one over the other. So yeah, in this one, Eggman's trying something a little more complex. Normally it's just, I'm going to make a bunch of robots and vaguely try and take over the world or create the Death Star and stuff like that. But here he's actually got a real plan going. This was like, this kind of marked the turning point for Eggman, where he's starting to have real plans. Even if he does want to create Robotnik Land, which sounds more like an amusement park. So yeah, he's just going to power up Chaos and have him like take over the world for him, which is actually, you might look at that and say it's a bit of a dumb idea, but he's at least trying something new.
No way, Tails.
Without more emeralds, the monsters
I'm not sure who my favourite Sonic is though.
it's up to us.
It's probably between this one, Ryan Drummond, and the one who succeeded him, Jason Griffith, because I think they're like the ideal voices for Sonic. And don't get me wrong, I'll always have a special place in my heart for Jaleel White. And Roger Craig Smith, not bad in the role, but there are better voices. So this is, yeah, I need Tails or Knuckles to get that one, that emblem. This item is the Wind Key. This really hung me up the first time I played the game because I didn't even know this thing existed and didn't know what to do with it. Fortunately, I had Game Winners to help me out. But yeah, so you have to put this key here. And it unlocks the next level, Windy Valley. Which there is time to do, don't worry. And Windy Valley is another of those levels that really stands out as one of the better ones. That's the thing, I feel like a lot of people really tend to say that Sonic Adventure 2 is the best of the two games. But I think Sonic Adventure 1's better, honestly. Because I find that with Sonic Adventure 2, for like the second half of the game, the levels are pretty shit. Whereas this game has just generally really good levels from start to finish. There are some questionable bits. Like Sonic's third level is not that great, and that's what screwed me over last time. But there's not really any levels I'd say are bad, unlike Sonic Adventure 2, where about half the levels having these weird gimmicks towards the end. And it just made them less fun. The structure of the levels in this game, though, is that the characters don't have unique levels.
Straight up.
There are 11 levels total, and the characters basically just share levels, but they go through different locations. So this level has 3 sections. Sonic tends to go through like all the locations with a very few exceptions. And so there's 3 sections to this level. The one you just saw inside the tornado, and this one here. And so the 2 outside the tornado sections are used by other characters, where Sonic has the whole thing. Now this one's pretty tricky if you're going to go for the final emblems. Each level has 3 emblems. The actual things you have to do for them differ based on character. But with Sonic, it's basically complete the level with at least 50 rings, and then complete the level within a time limit. The time limit ones are a little tricky, but if you know what to do and you do a lot of spin dashing, it's not too hard. Like, fortunately, YouTube has really helped with that in more recent years, because you can just look up an emblem guide, or in later games, rank A rank or S rank guides, and it just becomes really easy to know exactly what you're supposed to do. You could look up a video for all the shortcuts that can help you. As you can see, this part of the track goes over the next part. If you want a really good time, you pretty much have to jump from one part of the track to the next, which can get you killed. But if you get good enough at it, it's not too bad. I'd say it's probably Sonic Adventure 2 where it started to really take the piss sometimes. Because you have to do these extra ridiculous parts to get points for the rankings. But yeah, so that's this level complete. We got one of the Chaos Emeralds. Huzzah! This is also the part where the Chaos Emeralds became like a mandatory part of the game. Well, instead of just being like an optional thing, it's like the characters actually obtain them over the course of the story. They change hands, and eventually they all come together at the end.
The train headed for Station Square will be departing.
So now that we've done that, it's time to head off back to Station Square, as that thing told us. And so we have to head off back to Station Square to get to the next level. So until next time, when we are back in the city.